Hello, and thank you for watching Chesslovers channel. My name is Thomas Engqvist, and I am an international master from Sweden. In my hand, I'm holding my 88th choice of top endgame chess book. It's written by the English master Leonard Barden. He was born in 1929, and today he's 96 years old. He has written around 25 chess books, and this book was published in 1975, and to my mind this is a very good endgame book despite its age, and I will tell you why. The reason I'm recommending another book apart from the 87 I have already recommended in my previous clip is because this book should really be included among them, and I would put it in the fourth group. If you have acquainted yourself with my previous clip, maybe remember that I put the 87 books in different groups, and the first group was introductory books and foreign books, especially German books, and the second group consists of also introductory books, but more comprehensive books, like, for example, Averbach's Endgame books. And then the third group was more focused on a particular ending, like, for example, pawn endings, rook endings. And this book I would put in the fourth group because it's an untraditional book in the way that it's not structured according to the most common pawn endings, rook endings, minor piece endings, and queen endings. You also have other chapters in this book, which I will explain to you. And the fifth group consists of reference book, almost like dictionaries, for example, the Yugoslavian encyclopedia books. And this book has some point of views the other endgame books do not have. And I will explain that already in the introduction, he's writing the following conversation. Can you advise us what we must do if we want to improve? I don't know what you do at the moment. We study openings a lot. We play a lot, I suppose. But endgames, not very much. Do the opposite. Study endgames. This conversation or interview took place in 1972 in the YMCA London Centre Chess Club. And it was after a simultaneous exhibition because Karpov had won at Hastings, which took place 1971 to 1972. He shared the victory. And what it says here is, of course, the truth. And I have heard it from other sources as well. For example, none less than Capablanca, who also emphasizes the importance of studying endgames, and Dvoretsky, the greatest chess trainer. And if a book starts like this, we have a really good beginning. As I already mentioned, the book was published in 1975, and this was when Karpov would become world champion, because Bobby Fischer, who was the world champion in 1972, practically gave it to Karpov. So, of course, this book is very much Karpov inspired, so to speak. We will come back to this a little bit later when we discuss what this book contains in more detail. So I really like books from the 70s, because then we had those great players, Fischer and Karpov, as the best players in the world. So, why are we mentioning Karpov so much, and why does Leonard Barden emphasizes him? Because according to him, chapter 7, 8, and 10 in this book is the best way of applying what Karpov said, the importance of endgame, because in the 7th chapter in this book, Barden discusses the Fischer Endgame. I will explain soon what it means if you are not familiar with it. And chapter 8, the Petrosian Endgame, and chapter 10, the opening endgame. But before we discuss this in more detail, I will discuss the structure in the book. It consists of 2 parts. Part 1 is basic endgame technique. So this is why I call this book a little bit unusual compared with traditional books about the endgame, because he starts with the king in action, and here you can see he's even discussing a simultaneous game that he has played himself, which is very instructive. And you can see the king even managed to settle on h6 in the same spirit as the game Short Timman, where he ran with the king to g6. But this is an endgame, and obviously we must use the king, use its power. So this was a simultaneous exhibition in 1971, and he won very easily because of activating his king. And then he discusses the king shepherds home past pawns as an important theme. The king joins in an attack against the enemy king. So we can see how the king is a very aggressive piece indeed in the endgame. The king penetrates the enemy position and captures pawns. And also the king as a defensive piece. The king defends against passed pawns by counterattack or blockade. So this is the first chapter in the book dealing with the king. And as you know, because of my previous clip, I only remember one book by Mednis which emphasizes the king in the endgame. So this is not explicitly written in many endgame books, but here it is. The second chapter also discusses a very important theme, when to exchange pieces. And the subchapters are exchanging while keeping the defender under pressure, mistimed exchange, that is a very unusual but important theme, exchanging when material is level. So he's always talking about that you should never lose because of an exchange, because if you don't lose when you do an exchange, you normally have the more active position. So that is the main rule. The third chapter, 3, pawns into queens, emphasizes the tactical aspects, and he shows a lot of combinations where pawns can be promoted. So this is the tactical aspect of the endgame. And 4th, winning and drawing techniques. And sub-chapters are queen versus pawn on the 7th rank. So he's obviously dealing with stalemate. Bishop and rook pawn of the wrong color. Bad bishop handicapped by his own pawns. Stalemate traps. And now we come to part 2, endgames for tournament and match players. And he starts off with Rook endgames.